of gender-based violence, who's that causes gender-based violence. And honestly, I just want to give them to save time. We think of some of those goods are an issue of unemployment, especially Bobaba. And substance and alcohol abuse, it play a part. There's this thing by color, your knowing exactly ukuthi mawubaba ungasebenzi istrateni abo baba i5 basebenza, that pressure banayo nje another influence ukuthi wena else. And also the issue of accountability, the issue of bad role models. Thina sisasebancane, even our fathers, our role model, and only to find out about that our fathers were not these people abazokuhlonipha umuntu wesifazana. And I took it that from my father. Then Mankula, I want to play the same goal. The one that causes this thing to be called. The other thing is the injustice of justice system. Tinabo Babanje, O government. I think it caused an anger into us to act in accordance that will be against the law. One other thing in Zokulbangayo, it's a cultural beliefs, which is exactly in some cultures in general. Mama melangenela agcoke something, or mama ngenanga agcoka ngaluto awungipha amandla lento. But I wanna from God point of view, ubaba is a lion endling in the order, and it's no longer having that power. And if a man does not feel useless, he cannot do nothing. Ubaba isiningi labo baba laba ebezibona ukuthi bayenza amakhe lamakhisi amabi avele TV ni yokushaya abantwana, ukuhlukumeza abantwana, ukuphenduka ama animals endlini instead of being ama human beings. Those are the real causes of GBV. And the other thing, the oppression. Besenze example ngaphandle ukuthi mina mangubaba I have to ngithola umsebenzi ngikhola 350, but when ngicela ukuthola isikropo nyana site asilinyana i350 yami yavalwa, ngizothola isite asila futhi after. I'm no longer a father who's capable to provide endlini yakhe because of I provide, I have no money in my hand. So if you really want to stop this GBV, first iqashana bobaba enzana bobaba. So ngiyabonga about that.
Commission 3, can you go to the podium? Commission 3.
Bonani. Mina Ikaba Arnold. I'm from Itala Lab. Our topic was rehabilitation and support for abused men. Yes, men can be abused as well. So we firstly with emotional abuse, financial abuse. Then I'll quickly elaborate on each of them. Like emotional abuse, they are not taking your feelings into consideration. Yes, we have feelings as men as well. So that's another one. Then physical abuse, pushing you or being physical. And as a man, most of the times I know guys would see shy, so which should be like that, but then you feel abuse. And the fact that you can't do anything doesn't mean you're not taking abuse, because what happens is it builds up until one day you snap and toilet sausage HIV, because you're taking place, Then we also came to financial abuse, being abused financially, and which also can be in the form of what, you're not giving enough money for ingosi into injalo. It's a form of abuse. Then we also abuse sexually in the household, What's I know? When you're tired, if you're tired, you're tired. There's nothing you can do. Then we looked at the ways we can deal with this, like solutions. One important one was in support groups, where we can deal with these things as much and talk about them. Support groups is very important. It doesn't take a lot for us to form support groups. Then we also came to thinking social groups and activities we can do. Then one brother mentioned something very important, that we must learn to forgive as men, because we don't forgive and we bottle things up and they build up and one day you snap, and usolisa HIV. So one thing that I loved there was forgiveness is very important. We must form support groups, and we can do that in our communities. It doesn't take a lot. Then lastly, very key important point that I threw in the conversation, that earlier there was a question, what makes a man, you know? And one of my favorite professors, Professor Malusi Langa, he always says, Uguti, you never become a man. It's a journey. You're always in the process of becoming one. The only time you become a man is if you're dead. Then we can look back and say, hi, man, where's that guy? He did 1, 2, 3. But being a man is a process. It's a journey. So as you're sitting here, once you start saying, I've arrived, I'm the man, you're going to encounter problems, because it means you're saying, no, I can't learn anymore. You're closing your mind to learning. So I think the appropriate term to defining a man is that manhood is a journey. We're always becoming. We never arrive until we're dead. Then we can look back at your achievements, we can look back at your kids, we can look back at your family, we can look back at what you built and say, no, that man was a man. That's when you become a man. Yeah, so thank you so much. Real quick, support groups, support groups, you can do them in your communities. 5 guys, it's a group, you can talk. And once we start talking, we can start finding solutions. Then also reach out to your social workers. They mentioned that social workers are accessible in the townships, so there is support. The important things that we talk and form those support groups. Thank you so much.
We're left with Commission 2 and 4. Can you come following that order?
Gobi. Ndoda. Sanibonani. Igama lami nguSizwe Kunene, from the Law and Human Rights sector. We were in Commission 2, so we were doing the support for survivors of gender-based violence. So also we have done it, whereby there's physically, there's emotionally, there's financial, there's corporate, there's and they were abused in jail. We also look into sexual abuse, but also then abuse, because that is happening, whereby we look at the workplace biasness, whereby we look at the framework on its own. We also look at the family court biasness, because if men divorce, kind of men that we are looking into. So then our response mechanism was to say that we need to have an in-depth understanding of these things that they are going. Somebody, whether it's somebody from the law clinic or it's somebody from the SAPS, who would actually attend them in confidentiality, because they just groups, because these things are there, some of them, but people don't know. And people, if they don't know things, therefore, they're not going to consume those. Dive into it very much, because Uqina wants to say something before Chairs Van. Over to you, Uqina.
No, thank you so much, colleagues. Good afternoon. My name is Grinumzi Sawuka. I'm the second deputy chairperson in the Civil Society for living with HIV. I'm also the TB focal person, founder and director for Treatment Optimization Campaign. So my fellow colleague here, Mr. Kunene, spoke about the support that we actually need to create for men that are being exposed to gender-based violence. So the component, it's actually one, support group. But within that support group, we also need to make sure that we benchmark. We also need to look at creating counseling services for men, and it should be peer-to-peer. Enough about women speaking about men. So we want men to be the center of that nerve so that to peer, it's actually easy for us to come out as young people. And we are also looking at creating what we call a trauma-informed care, whereby we need to understand the level of trauma men and young boys that are going through when they are violated. And we also need to come up with strategic solutions in making sure that on the support group, we give them the necessary support that they need individually. And we also need to look at the fact that we must create a referral system, a system that now would allow us as young men and as men to actually fully access all the services from your Department of Police to your DSD, including our facilities as well, because that's where most of the challenges actually come from. And we have also looked at creating what we call now, it's an online resource, a monitoring and evaluation tool in a form of research, whereby amadoda that are not comfortable enough to go out there and share their experience, but they can be able to go through online on that particular form, at least and give us the reasons that why they feel like they've been violated, and also give us some of the solutions that they would want to generate moving forward.
Your time is
But
out.
mostly important, I think it should be a collaboration. It should be a bottom-up approach. We need the traditional leaders. We need your adolescents, young boys and girls. We need people who are living with HIV to actually combat and make sure that there is no man without men. It means, therefore, all men need to be champions. They need to be ambassadors of this support group. Thank you so much, colleagues.
Thank you very much. Can we get the last commission? Commission 4. Can give him a hand of applause.
Chair, without wasting any time, our commission was mental health. Igama lami uNceba Mashinini, an activist affected and infected. Under issues that we submitted in our commission, actually we tried to explain what is mental health. We did agree that mental health has to do with the state of okayness, counting indaba yama emotions, physical appearance yakho, and also psychological wellness yakho. And then another items that we highlighted, actually it was what are the causes of that mental health. We spoke of social pressure and purpose. Umngani wakho uyasebenza wena awusebenzi, and then you don't have ama dreams, and then you don't plan your life. And then also our item was high expectations. Ufunde kancane kodwa ufuna imizuzu ufuna ukuthi uriphe more resources than what you have worked for. And then and also we spoke of cultural norms. And also we spoke of background trauma. Thola ukuthi ukuyoba ku situation whereby ingqondo yakhe iyaba affected, but akwazi wathola usizo, and then lento yak affecta going forward. And then another item that we spoke of, or another issue that we highlighted was symptoms. Symptoms that we highlighted in our commission was psychological, emotional, and depression. Those are the symptoms. Umuntu khona kumbona ukuthi probably suffer from a mental health through psychological and emotional challenges. And then also we also spoke about physical symptoms, which are blood pressure and also sweating. Symptoms which are physical awafani. Sometimes ubasidudla, sometimes umzimba wehle. And then also we spoke of behavioral symptoms, whereby we as isolator, and then kulula nje ukuthi unqaphe. Yabona umuntu makhulumisa nje into progress nje uyilahlela le kude. And then also we spoke of instability, insomnia, nervous breakdown. Thola ukuthi you are in a platform and then ibani zivele zicime nje. Item that we highlighted, it's how to solve Lauma mental seeking professional help and counseling. Most of us say counseling. And then we need to encourage those sessions from Kumatota. And then also another item under my resolution, we spoke of attending support groups, men's forum and meaningful forum. Sometimes our forums way to are characterized whereby Toluguti or forums only that are done by abantu abasebenza, not as abantu abangasebenzi or who are challenged. We can form those forums so that we can discuss issues that are at our heart, and also attending meaningful forums. Sometimes siyakhohlisana umuntu uze lapho kuzomamela inkinga zami angangicebisa or anganginikeza ama resolutions azongisiza empilweni yami. And then also issue esi highlighted was acceptance. Kunzima ukuthi sivume madoda ukuthi sinenkinga. Mawunenkinga mangabe mhlamba kwazi ukutshela umngane wakho, go to professionals and also bazokwazi ukuthi bakusize to address those situations. And also we must also seek spiritual counseling. Sonke sinendlela zethu zokuzibuyisa emoyeni, sazi ukuthi okay, we are consulted esontweni noma you go to a traditional healer or traditional person whereby you're going to find those solutions. And then also ama support groups wethu are formal and also informal. Usually we wathola emsebenzini, and then amanye ama informal groups wathola mhlambe shini or la uhlala khona, and then ukwazi ukuthi uthola usizo, ingqondo yakho ikwazi ukuthola ukuphumula. Igama lami Nceba Mashinini, ngiyabonga group yethu nikezile leli thuba. Igama lamadoda alibongwe.
Thank you very much. Although the commission who presented here, can you give those your presentation that where you write and Umafana so that they can consolidate that report. So for now, can we call our chairperson of the CSF, and we give him also 3 minutes to give the message of hand of close when he coming to the podium.
Hazania, 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 Madota. Chair of the men's sector, the speaker of but I think for purposes of today, let me just say all protocols observed. Because that means we have included everyone. Mine is very quick. I hope I will just manage to do it under 3 minutes. It's just to really give a sector and the men's parliament, and so that I do not need to let me just read it the way type thing. The chair of the civil society in Johannesburg. Allow me to just say I'm on my unwavering support to the men's sector in its critical mission to promote the in empowering men to become agents of positive change is crucial in addressing the societal challenges we face, particularly in combat. Recognize that the fight against the GBVF is not just a women's issue, but a societal one that requires the active participation of men and boys. The men's sector efforts to engage in accountability is key to this process, as we must work together to ensure that men are held accountable, even for our actions. So it will be important that we hold accountable. On the need for accountability, I just wanted to say accountability is really not just about taking responsibility for one's actions. It's also about creating a culture of respect, empathy, and understanding. When we as men hold each other accountable for our actions, we begin to break down harmful stereotypes and behaviors that perpetuate GBV and femicide. By promoting accountability, create a society where men and boys and girls can live without fear and discrimination. Some of the things that we can really do to amplify the work that we are doing is one, to really in a process where we promote positive masculinity. These are such forums that then assist us to really promote guidelines. They have programs that speaks to fathers, where we are just saying, how do we mentor young boys as older men? So that's one of the things we actually deal with. Two, perhaps also find ways of addressing GBV and femicide. And I'm saying GBV and femicide because we know that with GBV, I think one of the commission's chair was actually of such a behavior. So then thirdly, we then need to really empower young boys. This is the future of the nation, and if we get it right on the young boys, we'll definitely have a better and sustainable city. So I then want to make a call to action that I urge all the stakeholders that are even here, all men that are here, all members of join hands with the men's sector in this noble work. Together we can create a society that is more just, promote accountability, respect, and empathy abounds amongst men and young boys. Society, we stand in solidarity with the work of the men's sector. We are committed to working with them towards a common goal of creating a society where all of us, we can live without fear. I just wanted to really say that we sector. Two last things that, Chair, that I felt that we needed to deal with. Perhaps in the next session, we might need to invite the NPA, have a speaker from the NPA, have a speaker from the Commission to really assist us and make us understand why is it that every time, I think one of the commissions was speaking about, why is it that some men are not even allowed to see their own children. So those are some, we might need to also have two parliaments, one on the women's parliament, and those two other parliaments are really important in ensuring that the work that this parliament is doing is richer in society. And perhaps in one of the sessions, the speaker might need to open up men and women in this parliament, and sometimes, and we then work on our behalf. Chances are that in their safe spaces, maybe they talk issues that actually assist all of us, so that we sit in these council chambers and really reconnect and understand each other. Maybe we're missing each other as well, to say, as in when we're doing some of this work, these are some of the things that we can actually take.
The chairperson of the CSF. For now, we're going to break for. When we come back, our speaker will be closing this session, which means our lunch, there's 2 saving points. Can we do it quick by 1:30?
and the office of the Speaker every time when men assemble. And second to that, we must also invite office responsible for revenue of the city. We're raising this issue because also precisely we know that the city does not have enough capital. But when we call National Treasury or Lebogang Maile to come here from province, his office, we certainly sure that programs of men will be sponsored. So my recommendation with the message of support is we'll make it available that we give Lebogang Maile's number to the city if they don't have to invite him in the future. Session so that's it. Madoda. Nyabo.
Madoda. Phila ndoda. Mangithi phila. Men are going through a lot. Men are njengoba ngimile phambi kwenu as I'm standing before you. Kunabo baba abathwele amongst ourselves. Nezinye izinto we don't talk about them. Yes, my name is Khusiyam, I'm from the organization Khoshikati. I think nimzwe kahle. She touched the nerve yamadoda. Ngicela ukukhalalisela lapho. At least bakhona abomama. Let me just reflect from the report that was given by Usbusiso Stole. Is it here? NGO that addresses the issues of values and morals. Those are principles that guide us, the code we live by. Values, then there are things that are Usbusiso. Young men are facing challenges of identity. Ukuzazi ukuthi ubani. Self ngathi mina nguKhusiyam okaMasike from Heartlines but wendoda akukhuluma ukuthi ubani. Inkosi ufika uthi endoda awusho ithakazelo zakho ngathi mina ngisazi isithakazelo. Amafana abancane bangakhona ukuconnecta na the reality. Sikhula sitshelwa ukuthi izinto zakho azilungi because ubaba wakho akwenzelanga imbeko. The things that we have to say here. Let's encourage fathers to go back and fix lento lezi bazimoshile emuva. I'm sorry to be hard. I'm personal when it comes to that. Angimazi ubabami. Today I can't even say ama praisings. I can't say my name because kube no baba or donate spam. Because sometimes Abu Mama they get the power because the father didn't take his responsible role in Mtwaneni. We give mothers that power because we are a generation that was told that izinto zakho azilungi kanje because ubabakho. Then bese zibuya futhi bathi ubabakho kwakuyispam donor utshelwa umamakho. Uyazibona lezo zinto. Then they keep using the child to prevent the father ukuthi empilo nomntwana. Then they say two elephants when they fight the grass poor child. Eating Naimush. Father wound. We want to support that. Ubabu Spusiso Kulumile nge father wound. As Heartline go all over the country, we are training people. If Fathers Matter program, it talks about we are in the lives of their children simply because we want to prevent the issue are facing. Usbusiso ukhulume ngokuthi kunendoda Wednesday. We want to play part kundoda lines. Sengivala mphathi. We want to play part to address the issue of father wounds. Khulume ngama resource constraint. Then it's very important to maintain the partnership. Mphathi, allow me. We say message of support is not only the message of support, we are bringing something on the table. We are saying sebenzisa i-hotlines when you do your Wednesday, Ndota Wednesday. And bring our resources, we got facilitators for free of charge. We don't charge you. We even give you the resources to run with the program. We do have Ikoroni, we did the same thing in Orange Farm. They are empowering men. Nikhulume ngama dialogues. You can't have a dialogue if you don't know how to create a safe space for amadoda. Nowadays they say amadoda gossipa more than men. Then we have to change that narrative. Neke sifike edialogue inamadoda sikhulume ngento zamadoda bese uzwa lento besikhuluma ngayo sekhulunywa abomama somewhere ekhoneni. That thing, it kills that man. Where amadoda can give their grievances, bakhulume kahle namanye peer mentoring. Those are the things that we want to bring as hotlines. In closing, mangayo as hotlines, si support amadoda kune dead helpline. Ngicela nithathe le number. We are talking about action manje. This number, it helps all men. It gives you tips. It gives you answers kuma questions so now. It gives you encouragement. 060 058 2107. 060 058 2107. Thank you. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Please utilize hotlines. Asibonge.
Thank you very much. Let me, when the speaker is entering the house, so that we can all rise. For now, what is going to happen now is that when we go back, we're going to each region. You need to make sure that, because we're going to initiate what we call sub-parliament. So we can't come here and cry about time allocated. On those sub-districts, you will meet quarterly and discuss about issues. When you come here, you're just going to give us a report that in region G, is that report. Because next time we're speaking here with the speaker, she told me that they're going to hate that your time is finished and the alarm will make noise. So this is what we're going to do, because we can't cover all things be happen at the district. Remember, we're coming from the it's the ground level, even if the national plan, but it needs to be implemented on the ground. So we have a lot of work to do on the ground. So when we go back, please, from region A to region G, I need to get report that region A is starting on Wednesday. We meet every Wednesday. You dialogue. So region B follow suit like that, because in region E we already started. We meet every Wednesday. So the workers, can we all rise? The speaker is here.
Thank you. You may all be seated.
Thank you very much. I will hand over back to the speaker to finish the last items that we left on the program. Thank you.
Move over to the notices of motion, and it will be presented by Dr.
Indoda. Madoda. But when in Rome, you must do what the Romans do. Okay. Thank you, Speaker. Councillor Nobuhle Mthembu, Co-Chair, Mr. Charles Mpepu. Thank you for this opportunity. As I've been introduced, my name is Dr. Metsi, the JAC Head of Secretariat. I'm just going to recommendations and resolutions that came from this city. As I've to prioritize Region B, allocate dedicated resources and personnel to facilitate the establishment of men-focused organizations and initiatives in Region B. Standardize Indoda. Indoda Wednesdays, develop a comprehensive toolkit and provide ongoing support to all regions for the consistent and impactful implementation of the Indoda Wednesday. Capacity building, invest in continuous training and volunteers and coordinators, particularly at the grassroots level. Strengthen partnerships, actively seek and formalize partnerships with civil society organizations, faith-based institutions, traditional leaders, and academic institutions to amplify monitoring and evaluation, establish robust monitoring and evaluation frameworks to track the impact of all programs and ensure accountability and continuous allocated to men's parliament. That was one of the recommendations. Incorporate the health department so that we have screenings or whatever facilities or services that the health department provides, particularly for men. And there was another recommendation that perhaps in the next sitting, NPA, so that they can come and respond to some of the questions that men have, especially with regards to the treatment that men experience when they go to places like police station. And I mean, somebody spoke about the fact that that is why men don't speak out, because they get ridiculed at times when they get to these institutions where they're supposed to get the help. And then I think the last resolution, having a special session where all men, women, and children can sit together and we discuss issues that affect us in common. So those are the resolutions that I've jotted down. Thank you very much. Thank you, Speaker.
Speaker.
Thank you, Dr. Metsing. Gentleman at the back.
Speaker, I'm rising to add because of Dr. Metsing, but when I was presenting, she was not yet present. And there were a few recommendations that we made. Say, raise one or two. Okay, thanks, Speaker.
It's fine, you can.
The first recommendation was that we'd like to see National Treasury in all the events, or the treasurer of the city. Processes, so that they can budget adequately. And second to that, because of knowing the city does not have enough allocation of money, we'd like to see taking part in all the activities that men, when they come here, the revenue also give clarity matters with revenue. Thank you very much.
Siyabonga. Does the men parliament adopt those motions that we table? You can just say yes. We've approached the end of our meeting, and these are my closing remarks. Please switch off mic yakho. If mic yakho this side is as on. I think ama name tags azohlala nje phambili so that I don't just say gentleman on my left, gentleman on my right, but ngubize ngegama lakho.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. My name is Shima Pakwaho, known as Mr. Moringa. I'm from Loli. Our submissions and everything, there is this, I've observed that on a very serious note, the main causes of why people are not taking their ARVs, issue of nutrition is not, it was never discussed at all. ARVs on an empty stomach. So it's something which is very crucial. ARVs on an empty stomach. So I'm not sure as to when can it be discussed at length. Because issue of poverty is a contributory factor as well anyway. But it's hence is my first time here. I can see that it's not on the agenda at all. So how do you rectify it and put it so that people can take pills on an empty stomach? Thank you very much.
Resolution that Dr. Mitseng has just presented. Am I correct? Okay. So, do we accept the motions as amended, Konamanch? Thank you. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to each and every one of you for your participation in today's session. This forum is very important and we took an free of judgment and ridicule. Let us translate this conversation into tangible actions in our homes and our community. We thank you so much, Chairperson. You are doing a very good job. Safe. Meeting is adjourned.